Wakanda forever. Remember when all of our politicians were going down on one knee and pretending that Wakanda was a real thing? It was a great, glorious time, especially doing what I do, being a connoisseur of cringe, a corraller of cringe. It was a great time to be making videos. But I bet you didn't know that over the past several years, they have been working on a $6 billion Wakanda city in Senegal, Africa. $6 billion. $6 billion. That's right. It was headed up by a rapper who came to America from Senegal, made all of his money in America, and then tried to convince all of his brethren to go back to Africa. Guess what? Not a single one of them did. In fact, the whole story, the whole collapse of the $6 billion Wakanda really deserves more of one of my long form breakdowns because the story is so hilarious. First, I want to hit you with a little bit of the promise versus reality, and then we're going to talk about the details of it, which are hilarious. Here we have a video, vision versus reality. Now, I can't play the music, but on the top, you'll see there, what would you call them? Like the promised sketches, drawings. It was literally going to look like Wakanda. Built in Senegal, $6 billion, absolutely African village. It had resort chalets, resort of Africa, African open bazaar, African restaurant. Okay. Looking pretty good. Yeah. I like their phallic. Here we have this one. Here we have a multi-function stadium built of what appears to be vibranium, a parking structure, a mall, a casino. I know a lot of people are Senegalese. They got a lot of cash to be pouring in that casino. Then you had the resort spa here. Okay. Very, very good. Again, all built out of what appears to be vibranium or silver. Here we have tech buildings. I don't know what that means. Tech 001, 002, 003, and 004. Seems like my coffee flavors. Coffeebrandcoffee.com. $6 billion. That's looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. Do we have any else? Let's see here. Let's move over to this section here. Hotels, I imagine. All right, well, it has its own police station. Why would you need a police station in Wakanda? That's weird. I recommend you could have cut that from the budget. You could have defunded that. You had a police station, a fire department, an outpatient clinic, a hospital, a single residential building, and a much larger office building. All, I guess, themed on, of course, Wakanda. What do we got here? Another small residential building, a really small parking structure, an education building 1, 2, and 3. Okay. They didn't really have any plans for them. They just knew they'd be for education. Okay. Seems good. What do we got here? Akon Tower. The biggest building in this Wakanda city for $6 billion was dedicated to the rapper Akon. Then we have a media tower. I'm not sure what that is. Another parking structure, another residential building, and then 4 different filming studios. I'm not sure what you're filming in there. Senegalese cartoons, maybe? I don't know. Not really sure. What else do we have here? Is that it? Oh, what? Nope. Oh, here it's going to be from Dakar to Wakanda it was going to be called Akon City, by the way, 100 kilometers from Dakar. This appears to be 2 people getting it on. I'm not quite sure what we're seeing there. We have a lot of huts that they haven't told us what they are yet. A yacht. That's nice. We're taking another 3D zoom through the city. Okay. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. $6 billion. I'm not surprised. Look at this. It's stunning. And then we have the reality. There you go. That's what they built. A single half-built concrete structure. That's all that was ever done. That was all that was ever done. $6 billion. Look at this vision they had. Let me scroll. Here, let's scroll down so you can see the reality. They were going to have, I don't know, animals or something like that. I can't really tell. Seashells that you live in. Apparently, those must be the pods that the World Economic Forum's always talking about. A sports stadium. And again, I can't emphasize enough. Here is what they got so far for $6 billion. Now, the city was set to run on not only renewable energy, but his own cryptocurrency, a coin. What could go wrong? A garbage-ish coin as the currency? What could go wrong? Plans for Akon City, a $6 billion futuristic development proposed by Akon in Senegal, have been now abandoned by the Senegalese authorities after years of delays and no progress. Akon was born in the United States to Senegalese parents and is a globally recognized singer, songwriter, and entrepreneur. He spent part of his childhood in Senegal and was involved in various philanthropic and business ventures across Africa, including a renewable energy project and the launch of his Ish coin, A coin. Senegrin Mamdou Mboub, head of Senegalese Tourism Authority, confirmed the decision, saying the Akon City project no longer exists. The project, first announced in 2018, so what is that, 7 years ago, was intended to create high-tech, eco-friendly city powered by renewable energy and Akon's own crypto coin, Acoin. Akon City gained international attention for its futuristic designs, which was a ripoff of Wakanda from Marvel's Black Panther. A 2020 launch ceremony marked the beginning of the project. By mid-2022-2024, though, only a single unfinished reception hall stood on the site. Local leaders, of course, voiced disappointment over the lack of development, as the area remained largely unchanged despite initial promises of job creation and economic growth. The project's reliance on a coin also became a central challenge, as the cryptocurrency struggled in the market and failed to gain any acceptance from Senegalese regulators. The CFA franc remains the only legal currency in Senegal, with the Central Bank of West Africa states raising concerns over the use of crypto at all. Efforts necessary to secure the $6 billion fell wildly short, and missed payments led to an ultimatum from SAPCO requiring progress on the site. Authorities in Akon later agreed to discontinue the original project in favor of a more modest plan. Oh, okay, well, they got things reset up here. That's good to see. Senegalese officials confirmed that it was not being managed properly. No, Akon said, I wasn't being managed properly. I take full responsibility for that. Senegalese officials confirmed that the future development on the site would proceed in partnership with Akon in a revised approach. The land remains designated for potential projects, with development plans expected to align with the country's preparations for the 2026 Youth Olympics. Back in 2024, Akon went viral for his Beautiful Day challenge on TikTok, where users could win a video call with the rapper himself. I, of course, have never heard, I've never heard of it. Or I've never heard of it. I guess I've heard of Akon, but I couldn't actually name one of his songs. Are they called songs or raps? Of course, Akon, Akon's $6 billion plan to build real-life Wakanda in Senegal no longer exists. Senegal faces a debt crisis following a state audit under former President Macky Sall. The government will move forward with a scaled-down, privately funded $1.2 billion tourism development featuring hotels, apartments, and a marina and a promenade. May the resort serve as a model for success in Senegal, a hub for tourism, and a source of economic opportunity. They will fail. Black people don't want to go back to Africa. The ones that do go viral making videos when they say they want to come back to America. They might want to visit it, and I respect that, but I don't want to visit Africa. I will never vacation in Africa. No thanks. Now, especially at a $1.2 billion resort. In 2020, Senegal gifted him 136 acres of land for a 10-year project to transform farming village of Mobadine into a solar-powered city that would run on the singer's crypto and include a state-of-the-art hospital. Last year, Sapco gave Akon 2 weeks to begin construction or risk losing the land. So far, the most visible progress is a small youth center, a basketball court, and a small information center. As Afrotech previously reported, Akon said the first phase of construction would begin in 2023, despite the ongoing lockdowns, and the futuristic city would be livable by 2026. Wow, he's only got 5 months left. We still have a 3-year window for the first phase to get done, and our goal for the first phase to be done by 2026 to make the Junior Olympics in Senegal, Akon shared in a 2023 interview with Vlad TV. According to Bloomberg, Akon has retained 8 hectares, or approximately 19 acres, as a part of the larger 500 hectare Sapco-backed tourism development. What Akon's preparing with us is a realistic project, which Sapco will support. Any bets on how that's going on? But Wakanda forever, I guess. Hope you enjoyed this video.